This week, no, we're not in Dallas, we're not in Nashville, we're not in Florida. We're back in our hometown, the Big Apple, and we're out at one of my favorite places, the Whitestone Republican Club in Queens, and there is a storm brewing out here. We're asking people tonight some simple questions. Is this just the beginning of the MAGA momentum? Does Donald Trump have to be at the top of the ticket for this momentum to continue? And by the way, overwhelming numbers on a percentage basis of minorities, including black and Latino voters, are shifting to the Republican Party. We are the big tent, but is the tent big enough? Can we do more? We'll ask some great Americans about that, too. And finally, when Kara and I hit the streets, we don't only talk to great Americans, we talk to some great candidates, too. And we're going to talk to some of them tonight and tell you who's coming your way to keep the red wave going in the midterm elections. We're talking about this week, Donald Trump is 56-0 in congressional endorsements. Is this just the beginning of the MAGA momentum?
Oh, I definitely believe so. You know, it started here in 21 when I won my election, along with 4 other Republicans took city council seats. We're a total of 5 now. That doesn't sound like much, but it is quite a bit. We've got a significant minority, so we're able to fight the battles. We may not win all the wars, but it's going back to your point. The point being is that everybody realizes that it's done. It's done. Nobody's buying into the Democratic malarkey, and what we've got sitting in the White House just keeps enforcing that every single day.
I think the thing that we need to do to keep the momentum going is understand that as Republicans, we've become the party of the working class. We've begun expanding our base with immigrant communities, and also understand that there's certain issues that transcend party affiliation, like education, crime, small business ownership. And I think these issues are why people are starting to forget about their political affiliation and start voting more issues-based, which is actually helping the Republican Party bring new voters to the table.
Well, right now, to keep the momentum alive, I think that we need empowerment and unity and togetherness, because not one politician or candidate is going to be able to do this on their own. We're just going to have to unite and stand together and fight. And the momentum is inspiration.
You know, all politicians have to start waking up and speaking the damn truth, because it's really gets exhausting. And these rhinos, we're just disgusted.
Enough is enough. It's time to stand up. You know, I always tell people, putting a lawn sign out in front of your house isn't enough anymore. Donating $20 to a local candidate, it's not enough anymore.
Why are you still wearing a mask?
Because it's Let's Go Brandon, so...
No, I know, but we're outdoors.
Well, that's the first. Yeah, well, also because it's just being funny. Plus, also,
is that funny?
Well, I mean, some people think it is.
Hey, now, I was surprised to hear you use a term like malarkey, because I'm used to you using some other, a little more strenuous terms than that.
I got a shock collar on.
Do you consider yourself a Trump Republican or an establishment Republican?
Oh, Trump Republican all day long. You know, Trump is the one who initially started this new wave of conservatism that's happening here in New York and around the country. So that's, you know, where I got my, you know, he led the way in a way. So if you look at when Trump first got elected, when it comes to the black vote compared to now, that's increased. So, I mean, there's more diversity, you see a lot more youth in the Republican Party than you saw when Trump just first ran.
Trump showed some phenomenal growth among Hispanic Americans, among Asian Americans, among different groups, among white working class. He has grown the Republican Party, and I think the ceiling has yet to be hit.
Many Hispanics are coming over to the Conservative Party. You, as a Puerto Rican woman, could you explain why you think that is?
I think that is because if you look historically at the elections, you can see that the Hispanics have always been in the back. But it's time. We're getting now, okay, tired of being the last, being the least. And we do have talent, and we do have what it would take, I think, to make a difference in this hour.
I decided to write an article as if I was a left-wing radical activist who were sick and tired and threatened by the loud majority, these evil boogeymen.
And what was the name you used?
Well, I wrote a very detailed article, and I signed it off. Yours truly, Holden McGroin. And ladies and gentlemen, it got published!
56-0 in congressional endorsements is something that we shouldn't be taking lightly, and a lot of people want to say that
he only endorses front runners. That's not true. And I say this, and I point to, and maybe it's not congressional, but Ron DeSantis, when he endorsed Ron DeSantis in 2018, Ron DeSantis was buried in the polls, absolutely buried. Now he's the best governor in the country. Thank goodness for that endorsement. And so I think that, I think that endorsement is worth its weight in gold, especially on the congressional side.
Do you think Donald Trump has to be on the top of the ticket for this momentum to continue?
Well, at the moment, Donald Trump is obviously the biggest candidate in the race. Until he declares he's not running, he's the presumptive nominee, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
We have so many just amazing Republican candidates. You have DeSantis, you have Cruz, but right now, as unbelievable as DeSantis is, Trump brings with him this fear factor that leaders all over the world, they're not going to cross him. He's that bulldog, he's that alpha male on the planet.
No doubt.
And right now, that's what we need to get this world straightened out.
No one is Trump. No one comes close to Trump. No one can get the energy he has. No one brings out the bodies. No one gets the enthusiasm, the excitement that President Trump does. He's a natural leader. He's a leader of our movement. He's a leader of our party. And he's the man we need at the top of the ticket for us to retake the White House, for us to retake the House and retake the Senate.
Could you do a Trump impression, your best Trump impression?
Well, absolutely. And I just have to say, Wise Guys with John Tabacco and Kara Kestradova, she's a fantastic person, too. They're both great people. And it's a wonderful show. And I just have to say, the best is yet to come, believe me.